welcome back to True Crime Time ASMR. I'm Nicole. Thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in to this video. I truly appreciate you. And if you're new here and you enjoy whispered true crime, please consider subscribing to the channel. I post 2 times a week, on Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I recommend using headphones if you would like to hear the gentle mic brushing. Now, before we get to tonight's case, please make sure that you are subscribed and please leave it a like if you don't mind. Thank you very much. I would also like to mention, I thought everyone knew, but it turns out everyone doesn't know. I have another ASMR channel, which is actually my main channel, my first channel. So if you're interested, if you enjoy gum chewing, eating, there's a lot of that. So if you don't like those sounds, it's not going to be for you. But there is role playing, food reviews, candy reviews, snack reviews, fast food eating, lots and lots of stuff. There's over 1,000 videos, so just letting you know. Link in the description box. It's called My ASMR Addiction. Alright. So, tonight we are traveling on over to Australia. Shout out to all my friends in Australia. We are going to a part of Australia called Adelaide. And this case occurred in February of 2007. It is the case of Carly Ryan, who was 15 years old at the time of this crime. So, let's talk about Carly Ryan. She was born on January 31st, 1992, and she was raised in Stirling, South Australia, which is, they said, 16 kilometers from Adelaide. I think I got that right. She was raised by her single mother named Sonia Ryan. Sonia was only 20 when her daughter was born, and they had a very close relationship. Carly was the world to Sonia, and when times were tough and when she was struggling, she held on because her daughter gave her a sense of purpose. And Carly would always confide in Sonia whatever was going on in her life. She shared it with her mother, and her mother was there to listen and share her wisdom with her daughter. So, when Carly was around 13, she started going on sites such as MySpace and vampirefreaks.com. And when she was on there, she met a guy named Brandon Kane. He was 18, originally from Texas, but he had moved to Melbourne, Australia. He was a musician, and they seemed to share a lot in common. Now, granted, he was 18, and like I said, she was only 13, so that's already problematic. But anyway, his father, Shane, was just somehow going to be in the area that day. And would it be okay if his dad would drop by the party just to give her some presents from him? So, of course, she wanted to have that happen. And her mom, Sonia, said, you know what, it sounds a little bit weird, a little fishy. So, I want to meet Shane, the father, ahead of time. I'm not having him at my house until I make sure he is legitimate. So, they arranged to meet at a coffee shop. And he showed up in a security officer's uniform because he was a security guard. And he even showed her his security guard ID. And he seemed, legitimate. So, not only did she agree that he could come to the party, but she told him he can sleep there because otherwise he would have to go to a hotel. So he comes to the party, and everything seems okay until the next morning when Sonia walked by her daughter's bedroom and she noticed that Shane was lying on Carly's bed asleep with the other girls all there as well. So she immediately dragged him out of there and threw him out of her house. That was not her intention. She didn't invite him there so he could sleep in the bed with her daughter. Even if he claims nothing happened, that was not the plan. So, like I said, she angrily tossed him out. And later, Carly would tell her mom that he had made inappropriate advances to her. And he had said the following: I love you. I would never let anything happen to you. You are beautiful. It's supposed to be his son's online girlfriend, right? His son. Anyway, she had rejected his advances and she had said that he is, quote, old, fat, and gross. Supposedly she said that to him. And the gifts that he had brought from Brandon were lingerie and a nurse's outfit. Now, don't forget, she is actually still 14 at this time. Okay, 14 going on 15. And Brandon is 18 and Shane is 50. Just so we're clear on everyone's age. And by the way, I just wanted to tell you that Carly and Brandon had been speaking for 18 months in total at this point, okay? So it had been a very long time. Anyway, so he goes back to where he came from. And Sonia gets a hold of the father's email address. And she wrote him an email telling him, whatever it was she thought of what he But of course, Sonia told her daughter, no more phone, no more internet. But somehow, things did continue. On February 20th, 2007, Brandon called up Carly, and he asked her to meet him at a deserted beach that was 50 miles from where she lived. I don't know how she got there. But she agreed, and she lied to her mom, and she told her she was going to a friend's slumber party, and she would be back the next day. And she said, "I love you, Mom," and she left. Well, I'm sure you know where this is going. The next day, Carly did not come back. And so, of course, her mother called the police. And sadly, later that morning, somebody found Carly's body washed up on the beach. It was Horseshoe Bay in Port Elliott. Now, an autopsy showed 19 injuries, including several blows to the head. The cause of death was facial trauma, drowning, and suffocation. So they quickly started looking for evidence, clues to find out who could have possibly done such a horrible thing to this young girl. She was now 15. She had turned 15. And so they were able to get hold of some CCTV footage showing Carly in the company of two men driving a light blue car. And the license plate brought them to the home of a man named Gary Francis Newman. He was a 50-year-old divorced father of 3. And he was actually the man that Carly and Sonia knew as Shane. Okay. When investigators raided his home, they found him sitting at his computer, communicating with a 14-year-old Australian girl, and using his profile, which was Brandon Kane, the 18-year-old, again. And as they looked a little closer, they found that he had over 200 personas that he was using to communicate with underage girls all across Australia and abroad. Now, also with him at the time was his 17-year-old adopted son, whose name we never will find out. And this son was actually the second male that was seen on the footage. So it was Shane, well, not really Shane, Gary Francis Newman and his 17-year-old adopted son, who had been with Carly on the night she was murdered. So of course the both of them were arrested at that point. Gary never admitted to having anything to do with the murder of Carly. And here is what came out at the trial, which was in 2009. told me that he had punched Carly Ryan in the face, that he had killed her, that he had done the job. He said he had punched her in the face, pushed her face into the sand, and after that, he had thrown her into the water. What an evil, evil man. So, he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a 29-year non-parole period. And the adopted son was a minor at the time, and he was acquitted of all charges. Apparently he was a witness, and he hadn't actually been involved physically. I don't really know the details. Like I said, his name was kept private and is still private as far as I know. Now this is what the judge said at sentencing, and I quote, "Gary Newman deserves a life behind bars for his grossly perverted plan to deceive, seduce, and murder Carly. It was a terribly cruel thing you did to this beautiful, impressionable 15-year-old child. I say child because that's what she was. A child that fell in love with the idea of the handsome, musically inclined, and rather exotic Brandon Kane. The real man was in fact an overweight, balding, middle-aged PEDO with sex and murder on his mind. You were sexually obsessed with Carly to the degree that when you couldn't get your own way, you prepared to and did kill her." Now, after this horrific murder, Carly's mother, Sonia, started a foundation in her name, and a new law was passed 10 years later called Carly's Law. And, quote, "Carly's Law will make it a crime for an adult to use a carriage service to commit an act in preparation for or planning to cause harm to or engage in or procure sexual activity with a minor. Importantly, this will include those who misrepresent their age." So what does that mean? Basically, it means that catfishing online for minors is illegal. Like, if you are online lying about your age to a minor, then you are committing a crime. We need that law in the US. We totally need that. Another thing I want you to know is that Carly was actually the first person in Australia to have ever been killed by a person who had groomed her on the internet. So, what do you think of this case? I will tell you some of my thoughts. First of all, my heart goes out to Carly, who lost her life in a horrendous way. Just so awful, unfair, so brutal. I am so sorry that that happened to her. And to her mother, Sonia. I can't even begin to imagine what she feels like. And I'm glad that she was able to bring some good from this. I'm sure that has helped her heal to a certain extent, but it's not something you can really ever heal from. Now, a lot of people are surely saying that Sonia is at fault, partially. And I don't want to say that at all, because that is obviously victim blaming, and there is no place for victim blaming in this case. The first thing you have to realize is that the whole idea of catfishing was not even really a thing in 2007. The show Catfish wasn't even out yet. I believe the original Catfish documentary came out in 2010, and then the show followed after that. So, this could have actually played out the way it did. And why did she even let her daughter talk to a person who presumably was 18, you might say? And I get it, but remember, her daughter was so happy. She really wanted to talk to this guy. It looked innocent enough. I mean, looking back, these were huge mistakes, but at the time, she just wanted her daughter to be happy, and she felt that nothing bad could really come of it. You know, like when the father was gonna come, she made sure to meet him first. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm making a lot of excuses for Sonia, but I'm just trying to get into her shoes rather than blame her. Now, this guy, Gary Francis Newman, I also read something about his ex-wife and how he had brutally abused her for years. He was a horrible, horrible man. I have no idea how he adopted that boy. If anyone knows, let me know. I tried to find out how he came to have an adopted son. No idea. But I guess he must have fooled a lot of people, because his ex-wife told a story about how he had brutally beaten her one time, and she went to the doctor, and her husband was with her, and the doctor asked her, right in front of the husband, if her husband was beating her. And her husband, who was holding her hand at the time, just squeezed on her hand so hard she thought her hand would break. So she had to, say no, her husband wasn't beating her. But I'm surprised that a doctor would have, even a long time ago, what doctor would ask you if your husband is beating you while he's sitting